Amelia, if you can start the recording also.
Getting there now. Very good.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I see some folks from the public have joined the meeting, which is great. If you're watching us on the YouTube live stream at the moment and you would like to come into the Zoom meeting so that later at the end of the meeting you might want to make public comment or you just want to view through the context of the Zoom meeting, you're more than welcome to do so. You just go to the Commission's website, sec.nm.gov, and go to the meetings page, where you can also find the link to this Zoom meeting at the bottom of the Commission's agenda, which has been posted on the meetings page for several days now. So with that, Judge Lang, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. The meeting is now called to order. I'll begin by calling the roll of the Commission. Commissioner Baker.
Here.
Commissioner Bluestone.
Here.
Commissioner Castillo.
Here.
Commissioner Klingman.
Here.
Commissioner McMillan.
Here.
Commissioner Villanueva.
Here.
And the chair is here. We have a full complement of commissioners today. The next item is for approval of the agenda, which was previously sent out. Is there a motion in a second?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan? Commissioner McMillan? Okay, Terry, you're muted. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Thank you. Chair votes yes. The agenda is approved. Item number 3 is approval of the minutes of the September 16th commission meeting. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Move adoption.
Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan? He's still muted, I think. Yep. Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And chair votes yes. The minutes of the September 16th meeting are adopted. All right, moving on now to meeting items. Number 4, Financial Disclosure Act compliance update. That would be you, Rebecca.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioners.
Good morning, Rebecca.
As you know, we have been working on the financial disclosure statements that have not been filed. And in April, the Secretary of State referred 178 names to us for noncompliance. We have been working very diligently to obtain voluntary compliance. At this time, we have achieved compliance for all but 3 individuals that are currently in positions that we confirm that are required to file. Of those 3 individuals, I have been in contact with 2 of them who are working with the Secretary of State's office to get their financial disclosure statements filed. The other, I have been in contact with the head of the agency for the board that they are on, and that head is working with them, with that individual, to achieve compliance. At this time, I believe we will achieve compliance for all of them imminently. And I stand for questions.
Thanks. Going around the virtual room, anybody have any questions of Rebecca?
Yeah, I do. Becky, you said that there were 178 laggards, so to speak. In terms of the state of New Mexico, how many people are supposed to file these disclosures? Do you know?
I believe it's around 675.
And of the 178, Was there a common thread in terms of why they did not do it timely?
A lot of them thought they had filed and there was a additional step within the filing process on the computer that they had not finalized. So that was one issue. I think some just forgot about it. So I think it was varied, but once contacted, they were all very willing to work on getting it done.
At one point, I was under the impression that the Secretary of State's website for making these disclosures was challenging, so to speak.
And
Has
that,
that been,
excuse
yeah,
me.
has that been corrected?
I have not been on the Secretary of State's website lately, but my understanding is from the people I worked with and spoke to in obtaining their voluntary compliance that once they contacted the Secretary of State's office and went through the process with them, they were able to get the filing completed.
Thank you.
Just one question.
Else?
Yes, thank you,
Yeah,
Becky,
sure.
and thank you for the excellent work in getting this done. Are there plans to do a press release, assuming there is total compliance imminently, like you predict? Are there plans for us to explain to the public what we did in this investigation and enforcement review so that we could achieve full compliance? Because I think it would be a good public education piece to put out there. And I'm just curious what plans, if any, there are to explain all that the commission has done to achieve this compliance.
Yes, there are plans and we have a draft and we're hoping once we can get compliance completed, we'll get that out as soon as possible.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Great. Oh,
I
yeah.
I'd just like to thank the staff and especially Becky for all the hard work to make sure that this will be accomplished. It's a tremendous amount of time and energy, and I just want to commend the staff for doing it.
Thank you so
Right.
much. It was a true group effort.
Anyone else? All right. Thanks, Becky. Very, very well done. Way to stick with it. That stuff can get pretty tedious. So thank you and those of you who helped. Item number 5, Jeremy, advisory opinion 2024-05.
Sure. Thanks, Chair. So Chair and Commissioners, this is an advisory opinion that came into the commission by way of a legislator who was requesting an advisory letter with respect to how that legislator's district legislative aide could participate in a Get Out to Vote campaign in a county down in the southeast. And KC drafted the advisory letter, got that out to the legislator who requested it, and Commissioner Bluestone, after he reviewed it, requested that it be converted to a formal opinion, and that's what you have before you today. So the question is a straightforward one, and it relates to something that has recently occurred in the legislature, where legislators have been appropriated an amount of money and it will roll out in a few stages, but some of the legislators now have been able to hire district legislative aides. So they each have a staff member to help with constituent services, with policy related services. And so the advisory opinion that's before you, the request is simply, can a district legislative aide help with the Get Out to Vote campaign that's happening prior to the election? And the advisory opinion is straightforward. It approaches the question from the standpoint of the Governmental Conduct Act, and specifically sections 3 and 3.1 of the Governmental Conduct Act. And the opinion explains that so long as the the district legislative aide as an employee of the state of New Mexico, and the legislator who's their supervisor. So long as the district legislative aide is authorized by the council service policy and by the legislator to participate in a Get Out the Vote campaign, and so long as that campaign is not partisan or directed to the private interests of any particular party, but it's kind of nonpartisan in the public's interest and purely related to increasing the voting population in New Mexico, then this sort of activity by a district legislative aide doesn't run afoul of Section 3 or Section 3.1 of the Governmental Conduct Act. And so this is a straightforward opinion. We're happy to receive it because I think it'll be the first of maybe a series of questions related to how the legislators may and may not use their individual respective staff members that they'll have. And so I'm pleased to present it to you, and and would ask that you approve it for publication on New Mexico OneSource.
Thank you. Is there a motion, a second, to issue the advisory opinion as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion or questions? Jeff?
Yeah, I have a question. Assuming that we approve it, should we be proactive and send a copy to every legislator, or just publish it and presume the legislators know where to look if they have a question?
Well, so Chair and Commissioner Baker, I know that Dee Dee Feldman is on the meeting here today, and as soon as this is published on OneSource, it'll be a resource that she can use, and a contract that she has with Council Service, I believe, to conduct trainings related to the use of district legislative staff. And so I think that that without sending it to every legislator, it will make its way into the current of what legislators may and may not do with their staff. So I don't think we need to send a 112 recipient email to get this into the available resources that they have.
Thank you. And one of my question was based on a conversation I had with Commissioner McMillan a while ago, that when he was in the legislature, and I don't want to speak for him, but there was a question about how he was trained, how he was told about what the rules were and were not. And my sense from speaking with Commissioner McMillan that it was somewhat ad hoc. So anything that we can do to sort of let all the legislators know that these are the rules, that's something we ought to be doing.
Well, we are doing that. We're providing resources to Ms. Feldman as she's, on her contract to train the staff. And then under our statutes, the commission has a duty, along with the National Council of State Legislators, to provide ethics training to the members every 2 years. And that should be coming up in December, where we in NCLS will have that opportunity again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bluestone?
Thank you. Yes, I think the opinion is well done. The KC did a good job on it. And I think, as you said, it's straightforward, but this is a new area for the legislature and the public to be learning about these district legislative aides. And in addition to letting Dee Dee Feldman have access to it and provide direct education to the legislators, as Jeff asked about, I think it would also be a good idea, because it's a matter of general public import, and this is a new mechanism that's being set up for us to do a brief press release about the opinion, assuming we approve it today, and have that be available for the press to look at and use as they see fit, if any. But I think it would be helpful. I'd like to recommend that you consider doing something like that to help get the word out about this issue. And I suspect we'll be getting other questions in the future about these legislative aids, but I think this is a good first step for us to help advise the public as well as the legislators of what's going on here, and that this get out the vote work is entirely appropriate.
Thank you, Commissioner Bluestone. Anyone else? Okay, there being no further discussion, let's call the question on the motion. Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes, passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody. And again, thank you, Casey, for another job well done. And we will now move on to the next matter. Is there a motion to go into executive session, specifically to go into executive session pursuant to section 1015(1)(h)(3), sections 1015(1)(h)(3) and 1015(1)(h)(7), to discuss matters identified in section 6 and 7 of the agenda. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, any discussion? All right, Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Mr. Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan,
Yes.
Mr. Villanueva.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. All right, we are now to move into executive session, and everybody stand by.
I'm working on it.
Thanks, Amelia.
There we go. Join your breakout room.
It's on Frank's calendar and it was also sent.
All right, it looks as if we are all back. Well, Judy's not quite back yet. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Back.
6. Judy,
Can you hear me?
we can't see you.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you prefer it that way. I hope not, but
Well, is audio, is that acceptable if I can't?
yeah, that's fine. That's your call.
Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you. We are back in open session, and as Chair, I'll state for the record that the matters discussed in the closed meeting were limited only to those specified in the motion for closure. All right. Moving right along, we will go to item number 8 on the agenda. Becky?
Chair, Commissioners, in 2023 NP06 NRA Commission of Klein, staff asks approval of the settlement agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
So moved.
Is there any
Second.
discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. 8B?
In 2024 NP02 NRA Commission of Magaha, staff request dismissal.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Any dis-
Second.
second? Thank you, Gary. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And chair votes yes. There you are. Okay, item C, 2024 NP05, Becky?
NRA Commission of Mendoza, staff request issuance of a default order.
Thank you. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Lastly, Becky, item D, 2024 NP14.
NRA Commission of Vargas, staff request dismissal.
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Moved and seconded to enter an order of dismissal. Commissioner, any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And chair votes yes. All right, let the order issue. Thank you very much, Becky, for your good work as always. Item number 9, and I'll start with you, Walker.
Yes, Chair and Commissioners, the staff are seeking in relation to administrative complaint 2022-27, Brett Kokonatis versus Karen Bedoni, a vote authorizing the Commission's attorney staff to file a civil action to enforce the State Ethics Commission Act and the Campaign Reporting Act against the respondent to enforce the hearing officer's order assessing a civil penalty of $4,500. The authorization would include authority of the executive director to settle this matter after consulting with the chair.
All right, is there a motion and a second?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
and chair votes yes. Authorization is granted.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. The next item is B, from which the chair is recusing. Walker, go ahead.
Yes, I note your recusal. Item 6B concerns administrative complaint number 2024-05. I am seeking a vote approving the settlement agreement entered into between myself as general counsel of the commission and the respondent in that administrative matter.
I move
All right.
approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded to adopt the settlement entered into by staff with the respondent. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
and the chair recused. Motion carries. Jessica?
Yes, Chair. As to
All
item,
yours.
yes, Chair.
Yeah, all yours.
Okay, as to item number C in 2024-06, there is no action being requested by staff at this time. Moving on to item D, 2024-37, as to item Goolsby versus Tinpac, staff is seeking an extension of time from the 90-day window.
There a motion second authorizing?
So moved.
Moved, moved and seconded. Any discussion or opposition? No. Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
And Commissioner, chair votes yes as well. E,
Matter administrative complaint 2024-38, commission staff are seeking an additional time pursuant to 1016G11 of the State Ethics Commission Act.
is there a motion and second?
Second.
So moved.
Thanks. Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Commissioner Baker?
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone?
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman?
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan?
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Thank you. F,
Chair, members of the commission, staff are seeking pursuant to 2020-24-41 an order of dismissal in this matter.
all right. Is there a motion and second?
So moved. Do we need to do these individually, Mr. Chair?
I think we probably do, Jeremy, unless you're comfortable suggesting otherwise. We've always done it one way. We've just never had this many.
We don't have to do them individually. I would recommend we do them by category dismissals for certification by voluntary compliance as reflected in the appropriate orders, dismissals for lack of jurisdiction as reflected by the appropriate orders, just a couple of categories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, a nod is as good as a wink. Is everybody okay with that idea?
Yes.
All right, Jessica, can you do that?
I can just
You
give
need
one, just give
Yeah, I
me
was gonna say you need a second to get it organized.
1
Yeah,
second, and I
that's-
think, but I do think I have it as to letters F, G, H, L, O, S,
S is in Stephen.
S is in Stephen, Chair, and W, which Commissioner Villanueva, I believe, will recuse.
Yes.
Yes.
We are seeking an order of dismissal pursuant to voluntary compliance through the Secretary of State's office.
So moved.
Thank you. As to those enumerated items, there's a motion, and is there a second to dismiss for the reasons stated?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, and with the exception of the noted approval of Commissioner Villanueva on item 9W, Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Mr. McMillan,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva, except for item W,
Yes.
and chair votes yes. Thank you. All right. Jessica?
For those, Chair, members of the commission, for those remaining letters, staff are seeking an order of dismissal for lack of jurisdiction.
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded that the remaining items as set forth in section 9 be dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
excuse me, Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
and chair votes yes. Thank you. Good suggestion, Stuart. Thanks, Jessica. I'm always abundantly cautious about doing things as a group like that, but I have the backup of all of you smart people, so I feel much more comfortable with it. Item number 10, Jeremy.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Chair and Commissioners, the staff seek an authorization to file a civil action and to take any actions fairly implicated therein, including making a demand, negotiating a settlement, mediating efforts to reach a settlement, to enforce the Governmental Conduct Act against certain members of the County Livestock Loss Authority.
Thank you. That would be under 10A in your program agenda. Is there a motion, a second?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner, hearing none. Commissioner Baker,
Yes.
Commissioner Bluestone,
Yes.
Commissioner Castillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Klingman,
Yes.
Commissioner McMillan,
Yes.
Commissioner Villanueva,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Thank you all very much. Okay, the next item is discussion of the next meeting, and Stuart had advised me earlier that he's going to be traveling on the next putative date, which I believe is December 6th, the first Friday in December. So is anyone opposed to doing it on the 13th of December?
Friday the 13th, I think that's great.
Yeah, that's fine. Triskaidekaphobia is not a real thing. Okay, so the next meeting will be conducted on December 13th, and all notices will be appropriately provided. The next item is public comment, and I will defer to staff, whoever's handling that today.
Amelia, do you want to handle that?
Yes, we did not receive any request for public comment with an email, which is how we instructed members of the public to request.
I see that there are a few members of the public on the call now, or the Zoom meeting. If you'd like to make a public comment, please indicate so by raising your hand through the Zoom feature.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, but I'm sorry, but I don't know how to raise my hand on these things. My name is Karen Cowan. If I may be permitted to speak, I would appreciate it. If not, I understand.
Please, Ms. Cowan.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Karen Cowan. I'm the Secretary and Treasurer of the New Mexico Federal Lands Committee or Council that represents federal lands ranchers, Bureau of Land Management, Forest Services, state land lessees on the different government lands. I just wanted to comment that the County Livestock Loss Authority Board is something that's critical to ranchers who are suffering wolf depredation. And I understand you've taken an action. I hope that whatever comes out of this will not harm ranchers as this proceeds. And that's my prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cowan. Anyone else? All right, Jeremy, I'm not hearing anything. Are you seeing anything?
No, Chair. No one else has indicated they wish to make public comment.
All right. Last licks, everybody. Anybody have anything? Okay. Thank you all for getting through a lengthy agenda. A lot of it was simply administrivia, but that too takes a toll on us. And I appreciate everybody's good offices and attendance. It's nice to see you all. And we'll be back in touch on the 13th of December. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Well done.
Bye. Bye.
Thank
See you
you.
later.